Hey everyone, Kenny Chan here for Senko Group Century 21. We're going to do a quick market update on the real estate prices. So we're going to answer a couple of questions here. Did prices go up or down recently? What area had the biggest changes? What's causing the price changes? As well as, can I see the future? So let's go. We're going to look at these areas specifically: Newmarket, Aurora, Toronto, Mississauga, Ajax, Pickering together, as well as Markham. Now we're only going to look at a specific subset of properties, a 3 or 4 bedroom freehold. So these are semi-detached townhouses that are freehold and fully detached properties that are freehold. So first off, we're going to look at Newmarket, and this is a 5-year history. The bottom left is showing 2017. The bottom right is the month that just passed of March 2022. So the average February price was just under 1.5 million in Newmarket, and then the March average price was just over 1.4 million, which is actually a drop of about 5.3% month over month. Let's look at Aurora. Similar story. The February average sales price was 1.74 million, and the March average sale price was 1.73 million. And it's a small change of about minus 0.8% month over month. Let's go to City of Toronto now. Once again, this is the last 5 years of data. Now the February average price was 1.8 and the March average price 1.77. So the price of an average 3 or 4 bedroom freehold in City of Toronto dropped by 3%. Let's go to Mississauga now. February average price was 1.68 million. And then the March average price was just under 1.6. And this is a drop of about 5.3% between February and March. Let's look at Pickering and Ajax. The February average price was just over 1.4, and then the March average price was just over 1.3, which is a month over month decrease of 7%. So of all the places I've looked at for this presentation, Ajax and Pickering had dropped the most. Let's look at Markham. The average February price was 1.8 and the March average price is 1.73 with an average drop of 5.3%. So pretty much in all these categories, all these geographical areas, there has been some month over month drop in the pricing. You could argue maybe Aurora is probably negligible as it's less than 1% drop, but everywhere else we're talking about here, Newmarket 5%, Aurora, City of Toronto negative 3%, Mississauga 5% drop, Pickering and Ajax 7% drop, Markham's 5% drop. So what is causing all of these price changes? Well, for one, prices were already high and many buyers were pushed to their limit. So we look at Markham, for example, the top right corner there, prices have been growing pretty consistently other than a few months here or there where the price went down over the last 3 years. You can kind of see here it dropped and then it was pretty steady in 2018, 2019, and it's really just gone almost a consistent increase in pricing. And we reached a point where, at this point at $1.8 million for 3 or 4 bedroom freehold in Markham has likely reached a lot of buyers' limits in terms of what they can afford. So where can it go from there, right? It can only kind of go down or stabilize. The second other reason for the price changes is that Bank of Canada has recently increased the prime interest rate from 2.45% to 2.7%. And they've signaled that it's likely to continue to increase throughout the year. And as you know, when they increase the prime interest rate, it will affect mortgage interest rates, which will cause buyers to have less borrowing power. So they can simply afford less. Lenders have also increased their fixed interest rates to already pre-pandemic levels. For example, if you're going to get a 5-year fixed interest rate, we're probably looking at 3.3%, usually even higher, maybe even 3.5% or 3.9%. Now, this is versus back in 2020 and 2021, you could have gotten maybe a 5% fixed interest rate for maybe 2.5% or lower. Similarly, variable rates are also not as attractive as they were in the last 2 years. Nowadays, maybe you can find a prime minus 0.65% versus back in 2020 or 2021, it was a prime minus 0.85 or maybe even a prime minus 1% or better. But once again, I'm not a mortgage lender, so I'm not a mortgage broker. These are just very anecdotal numbers from personal and client stories. Lastly, can I see the future? Obviously I can't, but I do know things that will be happening in the next half a year to a year that will affect real estate pricing. So Canada is going to eventually implement a temporary foreign buyer ban. Now, if you go into the details of it, it doesn't really include much. It really includes a very small subset of buyers, which may be speculators. However, there might be a psychological effect on the domestic buyers that will be larger than the actual effect, the actual financial effect. Remember, this was something that was actually promised in 2021 election, and it's actually coming into law sometime in 2022. At the same time, where I practice, Ontario, they have recently increased the foreign buyers tax, and they've also extended the foreign buyers tax to all of Ontario, not just specific areas of the GTA, which was the previous foreign buyers tax policy. So although I don't work in areas like further out from the GTA, for example, London, I do expect that to have a fairly large effect on London real estate prices, and by that I mean going downwards. Similarly, as I mentioned before, in my opinion, the biggest effect on real estate prices will always be the interest rate. And if Bank of Canada continues to increase the prime interest rates, it will continue to dampen buyer power, which will either reduce demand or reduce real estate pricing. In terms of final thoughts, I did want to bring up a few things. Now, February to March was a general price decrease across all geographical areas that I looked at. But 1 month of price decreases is not uncommon. It does happen pretty much every year throughout the real estate cycle. So let me show you again here. You may not be able to see it clearly, but you can see that there are various months here where the price is decreased, right? Maybe here we have 2 months in a row, 1 month in a row, 1 month in a row, 1 month in a row, maybe 2 months in a row. So it's not uncommon to see 1 month of price decreases. Real estate moves in cycles throughout the year. Even 2 months of consecutive price decreases is not uncommon. However, from what I can see, there have not been 3 consecutive months of price decreases in the last 5 years. So if we start seeing, okay, 1 month price decrease, fine. 2 month price decreases, okay, think about it. A 3 month price decrease in a row can definitely signal something else is going on. Now, if you have any questions, this is my email. That's my phone number and my website if you're looking for more videos, and I hope to see you at the next one. Bye now.